बिना मेरी इजाजत वो मेरा दीदार करती है न वो इनका.
Across London on 1458 AM and DAB, smart speaker, mobile app and LeicaRadio.com.
This is Leica Radio.
From Sky News Centre at 9. The Business Secretary has signed a deal for the UK to join a £12 trillion pact with Asia and the Pacific, allowing Britain to sell to a market of 500 million people. But critics claim the deal will only add just under £2 billion to the UK economy after 10 years. Ben Wallace claims he was somewhat misinterpreted over comments he made about Ukraine after announcing he's stepping down as Defence Secretary. He's emphasised that Britain's relationship with Ukraine is not transactional but more partnership, while pledging his continued support for the country. Mr Wallace will resign at the next cabinet reshuffle after 4 years in the job. Michael Clark is a defence and security analyst.
Scottish Guards officer, trusted, straightforward, honest, and he did a good job. And he's done a good job in MOD, which is struggling with finance and with the size of its military.
Meanwhile, there's a warning. The UK's procurement procedure for defence is broken. A 6-month inquiry's found the system to buy equipment is highly bureaucratic. More than 2,000 people have been forced to leave their homes on the Spanish island of La Palma because of an out-of-control wildfire. The country is among several in southern Europe experiencing a fierce heat wave, which is expected to get worse next week. In Italy, several cities are on red alert, advising people to stay out of the sun. Our reporter Hannah Thomas-Peter is in Rome.
It's just very sticky, being very hot. Temperatures pushing up to around 40 degrees, but there's lots of moisture in the air, and that makes it quite hard to cool down, and that creates a dangerous situation potentially medically.
A strong earthquake has struck the Alaska Peninsula, triggering a tsunami warning. The United States Geological Survey says the 7.4 magnitude quake was measured at a depth of almost 6 miles. And James Cameron's quashed rumours linking him to a film about the fatal implosion of the Titan submersible, calling them offensive. All 5 men on board died last month, including 3 Britons. That's the latest. I'm
Have you ever wondered what it's like to win big on the National Lottery?
Just to confirm, are you somewhere you're able to talk at the moment?
Yes, we're at home.
Lovely. I've just checked the ticket and I can confirm you are now millionaires.
No!
Yes!
How much have we won? £1 million!
Imagine that. It could be you. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Winner of Radio Station of the Year at the Asian Media Awards.
Leica Radio, London.
Leica Radio weather.
Today's weather: light cloud and moderate breeze in London and surrounding areas. Top temperature 21 centigrade. Sunset is at 9:11 p.m.
Leica Radio. Leica Radio.
Flight updates are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Flights, hotels and holidays.
Let's go for a flight update. All flights are as scheduled, but please check with your flight operators before heading to the airport.
Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000. Talking Points with Keith Vaz. Celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Leica Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the 169th edition of Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. This week, part of the programme is coming from Kampala, so we apologise for any disturbances on the airwaves. Happy birthday this week to Mary Ann Vickers, Chandu Tank, Indrajit Panasa, Philip Baker, Lilivanti Pandya and Vic Sethi. Let's go round the world to pick up a couple of the top news stories. Key roads in the Indian capital, New Delhi, have been flooded as water from the Yamuna River has overflowed onto them. The water level of the river has been rising since Wednesday after it breached an all-time high mark in more than 45 years. And if you think that we don't have enough films from Bollywood or Hollywood, well, Hollywood actors have announced that they're going on strike. The Screen Actors Guild has announced it will go on strike, marking the start of the largest shutdown Hollywood has seen in 40 years. The unions want streaming giants to agree to a fairer split of profits and better working conditions. The walkout means that 160,000 performers will immediately stop work. Stars Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt left the Oppenheimer premiere as the strike began, according to director Christopher Nolan. On the programme today, my first very special guest is Her Excellency Namisha Madhvani, the High Commissioner of Uganda to the United Kingdom. She served in posts all over the world, including Washington and Paris and Abu Dhabi, before she ended up in London. My next special guest on the programme is Partish Dubey, who obtained his MBA degree from Chicago Booth School of Business. He's worked in some top-notch companies, managing director of Kuba Capital, and he's worked for Barclays and Citibank. Let's hear about the current economic situation from him. But before all that, let's listen to Dance Ka Boot.
दीवाना हो देखेगा जमाना हो मोरी सुफियाना सी पाटिया हो नाचेगा दीवाना हो देखेगा जमाना हो मोरी सुफियाना सी पाटिया फिकर भुला के तू कमर हिला के और नच ले मेरे संग साथिया कोई मुझे रोको जरा चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मेरा लड़या इश्क दा बेंच लड़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मेरा लड़या इश्क दा बेंच लड़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या अच्छा लगे तुमको तो जैसे मैं करता हूँ वो कॉपी करो क्या हो गया जरा सा अगर सिर्फ गलत हो जाए करना मगर दिल से जो भी करो छुट्टी है ये गाना बड़ा मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मेरा लड़या इश्क दा बेंच लड़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या
Drop it.
कोई मुझे रोको जरा नच नच के हार्ट का बीट बढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मैनू चढ़या डांस का भूत चढ़या मेरा लड़या इश्क दा बेंच
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. My first special guest today is a glass ceiling breaker. Nimisha Madhvani joined the Uganda Foreign Service, first being posted to Washington, D.C. as the first secretary. From there, she went to New Delhi. She ended up as a high commissioner and concurrently had to look after Bangladesh, Bhutan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. She then went to Paris as ambassador and served also looking after Portugal, Spain, and UNESCO, amongst others. From there, it was Copenhagen. Now it's London. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon and good morning.
Nimisha Madhvani, you have broken many glass ceilings. You've been round the world, and not quite in 80 days. What do you enjoy most about your role as the High Commissioner or Ambassador?
I think, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to share with women and other leaders and upcoming young women who are aspiring to achieve in life that there's never a no. You can always keep doing it. What I enjoy is, I think I have a great passion for my country, Uganda, and I really thank President Museveni for appointing me and giving me this opportunity to be able to really show to the world how beautiful Uganda is and what great opportunities there are and some of the history of the past. Like you had, histories in colonies, you had the issues of East Germany and many other such issues with colonization where we had mistakes in Uganda which are now being surpassed and opportunities are there. And so I love being able to show off my country, the people, the culture, and meet all the different people around the world with whom one can really exchange and share ideas, including the financial world.
Now, over the last 12 months, there's been many celebrations about the arrival of the Ugandan Asians 50 years ago. Were you surprised when you got here about the interest in the diaspora? Because it wasn't a particularly happy moment for the Ugandan Asians 50 years ago, but they seem to be celebrating it very happily now, and mostly with you.
Yes, it's been just incredible how President Museveni, typical of the president, to get the politics right and appointed me in London at this 50 years. And it was wonderful. I myself was a refugee at that time as a little girl. So to see the passion with which everybody was commemorating and then celebrating Uganda 50 years on, including His Majesty the King inviting all of us to Buckingham Palace, was just so wonderful to see that Uganda is still burning in their hearts in a passionate way. So I wasn't so surprised as I was at the surprise of how much passion there still is and how much goodwill there is for the country for us to draw on.
Now, diplomacy is an art form. This week in the British Parliament, you were given an award by parliamentarians for what you do as a diplomat. Can you learn to be a diplomat? Is there in Uganda a school of diplomats, or is this something you pick up? I mean, you've been to Paris, London, New Delhi, Copenhagen, you name them, you've been there. Is this something that's acquired or can it be taught?
I think the basics are taught in a school. We don't have a school of diplomacy in Uganda, but a lot of us go to different places. Like when I was in Delhi, when I was in Washington, you go to certain training programs. But most importantly, I grew up in a wonderful family. I thank my family for all the support they gave, my late parents, my grandparents. I can never forget that we always grew up where politicians, business people, children entered our house without permission. And we just automatically had to look after them, feed them, extend courtesies to them, invite them in. There was no locked doors. And it was just wonderful. So I think it was partly in my DNA and I was able to pick up a lot.
Final question before the break about women. You're still a rarity, of course, a woman diplomat at your level, High Commissioner, Ambassador level. How would you encourage other young women to join the Foreign Service, to follow in your footsteps? And how tough was it for you?
Of course, I was a minority in a minority. I was a woman, and in Uganda, I was an Ugandan of Asian origin. So I had everything that was going against me almost, except for the support of the head of state and of my very strong mother, Rajput, Meena Madhvani, who was all out there, and then the family. So they wouldn't say take no for an answer, that no, I can't do it. So I knew there was no question of asking anybody. I think every young woman should go through, right as what I said at the beginning, is that aspire and do what you want to do, whether you want to be a diplomat, if you want to get into the Foreign Service, one should definitely follow that course. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a street cleaner, just whatever it is, do it with your heart. But whatever you do, just do it with full faith. And I think everybody who is a woman and can be a diplomat, I really encourage you. It is time for women to really continue this path that they are on.
This is Keith Faz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I am having a fascinating conversation with a glass ceiling breaker, Namisha Madhvani, the High Commissioner of Uganda to the Court of St. James in London. When we come back, we're going to hear more about Uganda itself. Join us after the break.
बदन आलीशान बड़ा करे है परेशान बड़ा तू भी किसी जिद पे अड़ी मैं भी किसी जिद पे अड़ी तेरी नजर जिगर पे यूं चली तन बदन में मची खलबली बेबी तू है बिल्कुल मेरा टाइप जब होता हूँ मैं साथ तेरे बेबी it's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe. होती हैं कुछ मेरी होती हैं बातें मेरी जान बतेरी होती हैं आंखों आंखों में कांड हो जाता है चश्मा हटाने की देरी होती है तेरे नखरे ये सच दीवा तुझे हैंडल नहीं कर सकता कोई मेरे सिवा प्लेलिस्ट पे बैड बनी BTS बीबा हर रात बियर पीनी है तुझे कीबा बेबी तू है शमा मैं परवाना शाहरुख नहीं लेकिन मैं हूँ दीवाना डॉल्चे तू मेरी बेबी मैं तेरा गवाना रैप छोड़ा तेरे लिए गाने लगा गाना it's a vibe, it's a vibe. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a vibe, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, it's a vibe.
जो भी है तिरछी ही बातें हैं तू क्या पटाएगा हम खुद ही पट जाते हैं मोर सैया जी गोते लगाऊं जैसे नैया जी सैया जब तू पास में आके माहौल बनाए
It's a vibe, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, it's a vibe. It's your boy, body. It's a vibe, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, it's a vibe.
Red Lotus Events brings to you Rangilu Gujarat Culture Fest from the 1st to the 3rd of September, an extravaganza celebrating culture and heritage of being Gujarati with music, handicrafts, open-air garba, kite flying, Indian street food, outdoor cinema, workshops and so much more. For store bookings, visit rangilugujarat.com. Exclusive radio partner, Leica Radio.
Royal announcement by Royal Chai. Chai is loved by all and so is coffee. Here's presenting a brand new coffee latte in 3 different and delectable concoctions. Enjoy the royal blend and aroma of coffee in masala, cardamom and karak flavors. Taste the coffee latte with a quirk by Royal Chai. Now available at all major retailers.
टिकट्स टू इंडिया, यूके एंड यूरोप से इंडिया के फ्लाइट्स एंड होटल्स की बहुत बढ़िया डील्स के लिए कॉल 020-8518-9100 और बुक ऑनलाइन tickets2india.co.uk.
When it comes to mouth-watering flavored products, then Al Noor Foods is the choice for you. From masala, sauces, jelly, juices, biscuits, desi atta and much more, Al Noor Foods stands out. Available at all Asian grocery stores or call 020-8813-9977. Al Noor, taste the difference.
Are you ready? One of India's top gaming sites, Sky 247 presents Hum India Wale in Reading. Hilarious Jamie Lever, मेरे छोटे-छोटे बच्चे बड़े हो गए बा! Jaspreet Singh and singer Manya Narang brings Teen Ka Tadka at the price of 1 at the Hexagon, Reading on Sunday the 23rd of July. Laughter, music and delicious food. It's on www.whatsonreading.com. Sundays just got better.
जरूरतों में साथ निभाए जैसे
सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स,
हर मौके पर काम ये आए, घर घर खुशियाँ लाए।
जहाँ जिंदगी वहाँ सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स।
सहाजा आयुर्वेदिक हर्बल मेडिसिन कंसल्टेशन सेंटर। हम हमारे खानदान से नाड़ी देख के सभी समस्याओं के लिए जड़ी बूटियों की दवाई देते हैं। अस्थमा, एलर्जी, स्किन प्रॉब्लम, सोराइसिस, कमर या घुटनों में दर्द, आर्थराइटिस, हेयर प्रॉब्लम, गैस ट्रबल, अल्सर्स, लेडीज प्रॉब्लम, वेट लॉस, सेक्सुअल प्रॉब्लम्स। कॉन्टैक्ट वैद्य रत्नम PV Raj 499 High Road, Wembley or call 07341 954 351 07341 954 351.
Jay's Entertainment presents Altaf Raja, performing live this September in London, Manchester and Leicester. Details soon. Exclusive radio partner, Leica Gold Radio.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to the Ugandan High Commissioner in London, Namisha Madvani, a glass ceiling breaker. Your Excellency, I've been to Uganda now twice. I had the pleasure of seeing this amazing country. If you were selling Uganda in 60 seconds to the listeners of Leica Radio, what would you want to tell us about? Is it the wildlife here? Well, what is it? Tell us Uganda.
Uganda is beautiful. The weather is fantastic. It is 28, 29 degrees all year round, no humidity. You can be on the equator and you can see snow in the Ruwenzuris and you still don't get cold. The food, the avocados are the size of a football. The pineapples, 1 pineapple, 2 liters of juice, naturally sweet. The vegetables, the potatoes. I'm vegetarian, so I can't tell you about the meat. The cultures, the different people, all mix match. Indians, Africans, Europeans, Germans, Australians, South Americans, whoever you want, it's all there. You want to eat Greek food, you can get it. You want to eat Italian food, you get it. You want to eat Gujarati food, you can come and have it. You want really good Punjabi chili cheese naan and butter chicken, you can get it. So if you want a steak, you can get it. You want a pint, big full fat milk, you can have it. The best peanuts. So just come and you can't go wrong. And you want some really good fresh chilies, bird's eye. That's what we've got to those like spicy food.
I'm sold. I'm on my way. I'm going to come back. Apart from what makes Uganda special, as you have just said, it is changing. Economically, it's changing. And indeed, culturally, in the sense that it's so accepting of all communities. What do you think Uganda will look like economically in 10 years' time? What's the plan of President Museveni? How will it change?
President Museveni is an incredibly visionary leader. He is looking at Ugandans to be self-sufficient, where we put industry. We do not export any raw material. We must add value to our minerals, our agriculture. It is primarily an agricultural country. We have every agricultural produce you can get. We got every mineral. You want rare earth, you want tin, you want cobalt, you want copper. It's in Uganda. You want iron ore. You want cotton to make textiles. Now we're making, cotton, which we used to have the best cotton and export the fabric. In our bad political times, our entire industry crashed. We had no sugar. We had no salt in 1979 at the fall of Idi Amin. So you can imagine today what Uganda is, where everybody is aspiring to be business. And the democracy, you could do anything in Uganda as long as you don't poison somebody and don't kill anybody.
Now, recently, we noticed this at the climate change conference in Paris. We have seen many speeches from African leaders, President Ruto in Kenya, Cyril Ramaphosa in South Africa. Indeed, President Museveni himself only this week talked about national security, a big issue for Uganda. It's about Africa's ambition. Do you think that Africa now realizes no one's going to do it for Africa? Africa has to do it for itself.
Actually, President Museveni has been saying this for years. It's not like he's just realized. He has been saying we must become self-sufficient, not depend on outsiders, make sure that we have our own product. And as I said earlier, we also focus on green energy, look after the people, avoid desertification, ensure that we can stop coal use biomass, bioenergy, and really become self-sufficient in electricity production so that we can produce our own products and also meet the issues related to climate change and become a green country. And the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement allows us to do this so that we can have quota-free, duty-free access for all our products across the continent, where the population is growing, and we're going to have a population of almost 2 billion by 2060, according to the UN, and have our sustainable development goals achieved.
One final personal question, because this is, of course, about Uganda, but also about you. The person you most admire, historical or present, who you say, they've inspired me to do these things. You're going to have to leave family members out, because I'm sure they played a big part in your life. But public figures who you think, gosh, they've been amazing. Quick answer, historic or living?
I think value of rights, value of freedom. President John F. Kennedy played a big role because basically I went to college in the United States. I learned a lot over there. Women emancipation, the role of women, what women can do. And then when we were thrown out of Uganda was just when I lost my father, and then we were thrown out. And then how it was that I could go and protest in front of the human rights and say, this is wrong. And nobody was there to say, no, it's not, right for you to do that. So yes, he was an inspiration, and Martin Luther King, who also was a great inspirer. Then, of course, there's Indira Gandhi as an Indian leader, woman of iron, and Margaret Thatcher, who also never took no for an answer. And how she worked with the leaders around the world, whether it was Russia, whether it was America, whoever it was, she was able, she, and I think in many ways influenced me in many ways as well.
Well, we've got quite a few there, so I think we're going to have to not say one, but quite a few, and they've all obviously inspired you to be what you are, a first-class diplomat, as I said, honoured this week in the British Parliament. Ugandan High Commissioner Madvani, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us today. We always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something special to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose, and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
I dedicate this song to all the friends of Uganda and those who aren't yet friends of Uganda to become friends of Uganda. And it's in Swahili. Jambo bwana, habari yako mzuri sana. Uganda yetu hakuna matata. So, hello everybody. Uganda has no problem. We look forward to seeing you all there.
That's absolutely brilliant. This is one of my favourite songs. High Commissioner Madvani, thank you so much for joining us today. As I look at the vista of Kampala from where I'm speaking to you, thank you for joining us, and have a great Sunday.
And thank you so much. Wish you all the best for everybody. Enjoy Kampala.
Let's hear High Commissioner Madvani's song.
matata, etu hakuna matata, watu wetu hakuna matata.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica. Time checks are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000.
Leica Radio.
Traffic and travel.
I'm Michael Page. In Hounslow, there are temporary lights on Handworth Road at Conway Road for emergency water main repairs. In Feltham, there are also temporary lights on Ashford Road near to Shelson Avenue because of gas main work. In Vauxhall, Wandsworth Road is closed both ways because of a mobile crane between 9 Elms Lane and Wyville Road. And at Balham on the A24 Balham High Road, electricity works at the turn for Ormsley Road means there are temporary lights in place. On the tubes, the Bakerloo line isn't running between Stonebridge Park and Harrow and Wealdstone, and the overground between Harrow and Wealdstone and Willesden Junction because of a faulty train at Wembley Central. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
The all-new Toyota BZ4X isn't just any all-electric SUV. It's powered by 25 years of electric innovation. Experience the freedom of a 24-hour test drive and enjoy 0% APR over 24 months when you order. Available on PCP over 24 months when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 2nd October. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. Test drive subject to availability. See website. Conditions apply.
Freedom. This is Leica Radio.
सस्ती से सस्ती फ्लाइट्स और हॉलिडे पैकेज चाहिए तो 24 घंटे 7 दिन किसी भी समय ट्रैवल हब का नंबर मिलाइए फॉर क्रूज टेलर मेड हॉलिडे होटल बुकिंग्स एंड हनीमून पैकेजेस हमसे सस्ता कहीं नहीं मिल सकता कॉल ट्रैवल हब 24/7 on 0208-782-8833 or visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Travel Hub, best service with unbeatable price.
At all protected.
Visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Dil Singh Tak and Emperor Events presents The King of Comedy, Kapil Sharma The UK Tour. Featuring the cast and crew from the Kapil Sharma TV show, including Kiku Sharda, Kangana Sharma, Rajiv Thakur and Jaswant Singh, with more names being added very soon. Takes place on Friday the 11th of August at the OVO Arena, Wembley, and on Saturday the 12th of August at the Utility Arena, Birmingham. Tickets available now at the box office, AXS.com and theticketfactory.com. Exclusive radio partners, Leica Radio and Leica Gold Radio.
When it comes to mouth-watering flavored products, then Al Noor Foods is the choice for you. From masala, sauces, jelly, juices, biscuits, desi atta and much more, Al Noor Foods stands out. Available at all Asian grocery stores or call 020-8813-9977. Al Noor, taste the difference.
We believe the world will not progress without the movement of people, the ones who have given up roots to plant new beginnings. Those enriching our lives here while supporting entire communities back home. We know that migrants make a world of difference. At World Remit, we've been proudly supporting their efforts with faster and more affordable money transfers from the UK for over 10 years. Download our app to see how sending money in a faster and more affordable way can help you make a world of difference. World Remit. Make a world of difference.
Thandai, khas, ganne ka ras, varyali, strawberry. Enjoy your favorite mocktails this summer with Pindavelli.com.
Haldiram brings you the most loved Indian sweets which are freshly made in UK. Now order your favorite Haldiram products online only on haldiramuk.com. Also available at your local Asian store at super special prices.
Get cheap flights to Mumbai with travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. Enjoy the sights and sounds of Mumbai with your family and friends. Book at travelup.com. T&Cs apply.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. My next special guest on the programme today is Partish Dubey, who obtained his MBA degree from the Chicago Booth School of Business. He has decided to pursue entrepreneurship through acquisition. He's the managing director of Kuba Capital Limited. He's had over 2 decades of corporate experience in India and in the United Kingdom. He worked in various Tier 1 banks like Wells Fargo, Barclays Capital and Citibank in London, and in the UK with Godrej and Boyce, in GE Capital in New Delhi in India. So he's very much
a financial services man. Let's go over to Rotherhithe, just up the road from Canary Wharf, and talk to Partish Dubey. Good morning, Partish.
Good morning, Keith.
Do you think financial services can be taught, or do you think it's something that's instinctive? Obviously, you've had a blue chip education. You went to the Chicago Booth School of Business. Did you actually learn how to do business there, or do you think that it's just natural and instinctive?
I do believe financial services can be taught. In fact, it should be taught very early. It should be taught right at the school stage when kids are in the year 10, 11, they should know how to handle money. I do believe business can be taught.
Now, that's a very interesting concept. Of course, you're quite right. We don't allow children to have money as such. We wait till they're older. They have to gain financial independence. But this is a very interesting concept. Did you, in your life, start dealing with money at a very young age, or were you going on a different path as set by your mum and dad?
So I did learn very early in my career or in my life to handle money because I stayed in a boarding school. I studied at the Sri Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School and the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning way back in India. These are residential schools and colleges. And when we were in our 8th standard, we had to handle money. So I learned very early in life how to handle money. As far as career was concerned, I was very fortunate. My parents did not insist on me becoming either an engineer or doctor. They gave me the freedom to choose the career that I wanted.
Now, a lot of the listeners on Leica Radio at this time in the morning are young people who might be looking at a career in financial services. It used to be medicine and law and possibly engineering that were very popular professions for the younger generation. Now, it's all about financial services. Now, you and I both work in what can only be described as the financial district of the UK, that is Canary Wharf, in the Canary Wharf area. Do you think that this is now fast becoming the number one career of interest, banking, financial services, hedge funds, for young Asians?
I would like to think yes, but it will be good if talent actually gets distributed across various professions, because all professions require good and talented people. So finance is definitely one of them. Because we live in the city of London and London is like a global center for finance, it is naturally going to attract some of the best talent from the Asian community in this area. But I also hope many will take up areas like entrepreneurship, and medicine, law will always, attract very good talent. So I do feel those who enumerate and those who have a sense of, understanding will go towards finance. But equally, I hope that talent gets distributed across various professions, including media.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm having an interesting conversation with one of our leading bankers, Partish Dubey, who is currently the managing director of Kuba Capital, about his corporate experience. When we come back, we're going to talk to him a bit more about banking, but also about the current state of the economy. So join us after the break.
इश्क लड़ा लूं उसके बाद लाऊंगा, पहले इश्क लड़ा लूं उसके बाद लाऊंगा, तेरे वास्ते फलक से मैं चांद लाऊंगा, 16-17 सितारे संग बांध लाऊंगा। के मैं तेरी ये मुराद आऊंगा तेरे वास्ते फलक से मैं चांद लाऊंगा 16-17 सितारे संग बांध लाऊंगा तेरे वास्ते फलक से मैं चांद लाऊंगा 16-17 सितारे संग बांध लाऊंगा
अब कहाँ गया हैप्पी
एक जगह टिकता ही नहीं पाऊं मैं उसके चक्कर
अरे सुबह को हैप्पी सिंगापुर में रात को हैप्पी जलंधर कभी दिल्ली
कभी दुबई
कभी स्कॉटलैंड
हेलो मान ट्रैवल कल की 2 टिकट्स पेरिस की बुक करवा दो प्लीज बेबे को ले जा रहा हूँ पेरिस घुमाने
हैप्पी की हैप्पीनेस का राज ट्रैवल है और आपकी हैप्पीनेस का भी कॉल 0208099900 मान ट्रैवल बस टिकट्स बुक कीजिए और हैप्पी हो जाइए
Punjab National Bank International Limited launches mobile app for personal customers. Whether you want to send money to India or view your latest balance, do that on the go. Simply download our app for free from your mobile app store. Terms and conditions apply. For more details, please visit
www.pnbint.com. Deposit protection from FSCS. Authorized by the PRA and regulated by FCA and PRA.
Mom, have you bought some of those delicious noodles? You mean Coca, the king of noodles? Coca means delicious. Variety of flavors available in Coca packet, Coca cup and Coca bowl noodles. Suitable for vegetarians and halal approved. The king of noodles, Coca noodles, packets, cups and bowls now available everywhere in the UK.
Slough Mela is back on Sunday 6th of August 2023 at Upton Court Park in Slough from midday till 8:30. Live on stage, Lembar Hassanpuri. H. Dami, Navin Kundra, JK, Rafaqat Ali Khan. For more information, call 07538017393 or visit sloughmela.co.uk. Powered by Leica Radio.
The future is unpredictable at times, but the Open University are the experts in distance learning, allowing you to fit study around your life. What's more, you'll have support from dedicated tutors every step of the way. Now suddenly your possibilities are open. Register by the 12th of January to get started. The Open University. The future is open.
Get the exotic feel of summer with Pind Valley's popular range of thirst-quenching desi mocktails, including Kesar Anjeer, Lemon Pudina, Kala Khatta, Gulab Gulkand, Kashmiri Gulab, and Pan Pasand flavors, among many others. Welcome summer 2021 with a taste of the Pind. Available at all Asian grocery shops. Visit pindvalley.com or call 020-8106-5716.
देखो नजर उठा के सेट तो ये छा गया है खाने को रखे ताजा हर दिल को भा गया है देखो तो जिंदगी भी लहरा के जा रही है सेट तो के साथ खुशियां नजदीक आ रही है सेट को मिला तो हर पल एहसास पा गया जहां जिंदगी वहां सेट हो माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स
Dance fans, are you ready? She's on her way this August. Keep listening to Leica Radio and Leica Gold Radio to find out who. It's a Navish Media presentation.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm having a fascinating conversation with Partish Dubey, who is the managing director of Kuber Capital. India rises, hasn't it? I mean, it's risen. Anyone who was watching the TV when Prime Minister Modi went to the White House will know that India as a financial center is finally being recognized. Does this help in your work at Kuber Capital? Have you brought with you a lot of those contacts and interests in Indian finance? Or is Kuber Capital very much to do with the City of London?
No, in fact, this is a very good question because I want to give back to my country. I was born and grew up in India, and I've always had a desire to give back to my country. So Kuber Capital was set up with that in mind. Kuber Capital is a search fund which is looking to acquire an existing small business which is profitable, has loyal customers and high margins. So India's rise is actually something like a boon for me. I've been able to locate and identify a company in the IT sector in India, which Kuber Capital is going to acquire. So I'm actually very much interested in the growth of India. And as you very rightly said, during Prime Minister Modi's trip, it was very, very encouraging for all of us to see how India was received, how India was perceived. And today, India is one of the shining jewels in the world economy, and all attention is going towards India. India is encouraging many companies to look at a China plus one manufacturing policy. And I do hope, post-COVID, many people will take advantage of the various policies that the government of India has come up with. The most important being the Make in India project. So I'm very hopeful, I'm very excited, and I firmly believe that Kuber Capital will benefit with the growth of India.
Now, coming back to more domestic issues, which is the current very high rates of interest, why do you think interest rates are so high? If you were sitting on the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee advising the governor, would you go along with what he's doing? Because a lot of our listeners are obviously being squeezed. Interest rates possibly for mortgages going up to 6 or 7%. I mean, this is eye-watering stuff.
This is very true what you say. Now, or fortunately, if I'd been on the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, I would have gone along with the decisions made by the Bank of England. Maybe, tempered it a bit by not raising interest rates as high as they have risen over the last 18 months. But I think the trajectory is right. Unfortunately, we are having a very high rate of inflation at this point of time. The Bank of England's stated ambition is to get it below 2%, but the latest figures are 8.7%. And one of the tools that the bank has is to raise interest rates, because in a sense, what the bank is telling us is that we need to save so that, we don't spend on goods and services. That should then bring down the prices of goods and services, and hopefully that will then bring inflation down. We have seen the figure come down from close to 10% a few months back to 8.7%. So I think it's on the right trajectory for it to be moving down. The Prime Minister of UK, Rishi Sunak, has a stated ambition of halving inflation this year, and I hope he succeeds in that, because that will then help the common man have a little bit more money in his pocket. But right now, as you rightly point out, we are getting squeezed because interest rates are rising, and that then means that a lot of mortgage products, loans, etc., become difficult to obtain, or their interest rates are tied up to the base rate of the Bank of England, and that's pushing all of this up. So once the Bank of England either stabilizes its rise in interest rates or starts bringing them down, that's when we will be able to see the mortgage rates fall.
But you say hopefully something will be done, since you're our live banker on the show this morning, and you know about these things unlike the rest of us. When will it all end? Give us a prediction, a Partish Dubey prediction from Kuber Capital. When will interest rates come down? Give us a guess.
That is a tough one to answer, but I will stick with what the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said. His ambition is to halve inflation by the end of this year. So I'm hopeful that by the end of this year, interest rates should start climbing down.
Okay. Well, we're going to ring you on the 31st of December just to check whether you and Rishi Sunak are right. Partish Dubey, it's been absolutely a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you for joining us. We always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something special to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose, and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
So the Ashes are on, and it's been a riveting series so far, completely captivating and capturing our attention. So I have chosen a song from the film Lagan, and the song I have chosen is Radha Kaise Na Jale. I would like to dedicate this song to my mother, Mrs. Pravat Nalini, to my wife, Swati, and to my children, son Aditya and daughter Shriya.
Wonderful. Well, I hope they're all listening to their dad, and I'm sure they're very proud of what you've done and that what you will do in the future. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. And thank you for having me on this program today. And my best wishes to all the listeners of Laika Radio.
Let's hear Partish Duve's song.
मधुबन में भले कान्हा किसी को पी से मिले, मन में तो राधा के ही प्रेम के हैं फूल खिले। किस लिए राधा जले, किस लिए राधा जले, बिना सोचे समझे किस लिए राधा जले, किस लिए राधा जले। गोपियां तारे हैं, चांद है राधा, फिर क्यों है उसको विश्वास आधा। ओ गोपियां तारे हैं, चांद है राधा, फिर क्यों है उसको विश्वास आधा।
कान्हा जी को जो सदा इधर उधर ध्यान रहे, राधा बेचारी को फिर अपने पे क्या
गोपियां आनी जानी है, राधा तो मन की रानी है। गोपियां आनी जानी है, राधा तो मन की रानी है। सांझ सखारे जमुना किनारे, राधा राधा ही कान्हा पुकारे।
ओए होए ओए होए, बाहों के हार जो डाले कोई कान्हा के गले। राधा कैसे न जले, राधा कैसे न जले, आग तन मन में लगे, राधा कैसे अलग बोली अलग भाषा है, बात नैनों से हो कान्हा की यही आशा है। कान्हा के ये जो नैना है, जिन्हें गोपियों के चैना है। कान्हा के ये जो नैना है, जिन्हें गोपियों के चैना है। मिली नजरिया हुई बाबरिया, गोरी गोरी सी कोई गुजरिया।
कान्हा का प्यार किसी गोपी के मन में जो पले, किस लिए राधा जले, राधा जले, राधा जले।
राधा कैसे न जले,
किस लिए राधा जले,
राधा कैसे न जले,
किस लिए राधा जले। राधा जले, किस लिए राधा जले।
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
Time's up for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's programme. My thanks to Her Excellency Nimisha Madhvani and Partish Dubey for joining us today. Special thanks to my producer Rena and of course my editor Adam. To end today's programme, I'm going to play Ratan Lambian, which has had 804 million views on YouTube. That's quite a viewership. Please stay tuned for the wonderful Sheena, who follows the news at 10 on Leica Radio, Britain's greatest Asian radio station. This is London, and this has been Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. I hope you have a fabulous Sunday.
तेरी मेरी गल्लाएं होगी मशहूर, करना कभी तू मुझे नजरों से दूर। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए। जानदा है दिल ये तो जान दिया तू, तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं मेरे बिना तू। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए। काटू कैसे राता हो सावरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे।
चम 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 अंबरां दे तारे कहंदे ने सजना, तू ही चन मेरे इस दिल दा मन लवे सजना। तेरे बिना मेरा होवे ना गुजारा, छड़ के ना जावी मैनू तू ही है सहारा।
काटू कैसे राता हो सावरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे।
मशहूर करना कभी तू मैनू नजरों से दूर। पीछे चलिए तेरे पीछे चलिए, तेरे पीछे चलिए।
जानदा है दिल ये तो जान दिया तू, तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं मेरे बिना तू। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए। काटू कैसे राता हो सावरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे। के राता लंबे आ रे, कटे तेरे संगे आ रे।